You called in really, I suppose, to clarify the official position that South Africa is holding on this issue. Good morning.
Good morning, Bongani, and thanks for having me. You know, I've been listening to the guest that you just had on, and I also heard earlier from what you were saying. In fact, I was on my way to drop off my girls at school, and you talked about flip-flopping. He also just said the same thing. Now, I'm sitting here and wondering on which area did we flip-flop on this particular issue. If you can help me with that, then I can weigh in, because I don't remember South Africa flip-flopping at all.
Well, I suppose the narrative sequence is this. As the Russians were invading Ukraine on Thursday, we called for dialogue, we called for mediation, even as though it was clear the invasion had already begun. Then there was a strong statement issued by Minister Pandor calling for the immediate withdrawal of Russian troops. Then the reports suggested at the weekend that the presidency said they hadn't been consulted on that statement. And then we're seeing a bit of a walk back in terms of what she was saying in Geneva, in terms of what Minister Lindiwe Zulu has been saying, of course, as part of the ANC, and indeed even the statement the party itself issued. So that does seem to be a bit of flip-flopping. The message, at the very least, is incoherent.
Yeah, no, you see, that's the issue, man. You see, and I'm glad you've analyzed, or rather told the story the way you have, because even from what you just said now, there's no flip-flopping from our side. So you can't take a story in a Sunday newspaper that is quoting an anonymous source that alleges that the president is unhappy with one particular line that talks about withdrawal of Russian troops from Ukraine, and then you make that a statement of fact that, in fact, this is true. I have not seen any official statement from the presidency saying the president is unhappy. I work at Dirco as head of public diplomacy. We've not been contacted by the presidency to say what you called for is not our position. So that statement that has been made is still on record. The first statement we issued articulated our principled position that we believe that international disputes and political challenges are best resolved through dialogue. The benefit of dialogue is that you are able to avoid a conflict. When a conflict is ensuing, as it is now, negotiations are the way in which you resolve a dispute through peaceful means. And in fact, after making that call, we're happy that there is now talks that have commenced. It started on Monday. Today they are continuing. It's exactly what we've been calling for, that you need to give diplomacy a chance so that you avoid loss of life, you avoid destruction of property and infrastructure, and that's human rights. When you talk about avoiding loss of life, that's basically human rights. So human rights remains the anchor of our foreign policy. So this idea that there's been flip-flopping is factually incorrect. All statements we have made up to this far, the central message and theme is asking that diplomacy should be given a chance. We as a country are a product of a negotiated settlement, and that's basically what we say.
Clayson, I think nobody will disagree that diplomacy must be given a chance, and yet at the same time that these talks have been happening, Zelensky issued a statement talking about how skeptical he was of the Russian intentions. Even as those talks that you are describing have been continuing, the onslaught against the Ukrainian people has also been ongoing. So whether or not those talks are going to yield the result that we would all want remains to be seen. But surely it matters that our position is clear on these things. The first thing we've got to do is we've got to make sure that when we say these things, that's exactly what we mean. We can't have double speak.
There is no double speak, Bongani. Our position has been very clear. Even last night, our permanent representative to the United Nations made a statement in the UN General Assembly, because, you know, there's a stalemate in the Security Council. So the matter is now on the agenda of the UN General Assembly. The statement she made, we've issued it to the media, is exactly what we've been saying with the past two statements. So this idea, by the way, yes, last night I was on a Twitter space discussion with Professor Siphamandla Zondi. He made a profound statement that said, in the time of conflict or war, the most powerful call you can make is for peace. So these people who are married to the idea that you must condemn one side or the other side, to what end? What is the benefit? What is the value of that? And by the way, there's a lot of hypocrisy in international relations. You've said the statement before. I've heard you saying this. The people who are condemning one side to this the same conflict were bombing Somalia just the day before yesterday. Nobody's saying anything.
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions.
Your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.